Morning, guys. How's everybody doing this morning? I hope you are all well. I just walked my boys to school. We had a little conversation about Canadians. And my son made a joke about saying, "I'm Canadian, eh?" And I went, yeah. Yeah, it's kind of weird that Canadians kind of embrace this attitude of saying, eh? I mean, it's fun. It's fun. I mean, I think it goes really back to Bob and Doug. Bob and Doug they're really the originators of the eh? Good day, you hoser. But, I mean, like, to embrace it as a national identity, do you ever really think about that? Do you really think about what we're saying when we embrace the Canadian vision, eh? It means you're asking a question at the end of every single sentence. 'Cause you're dumb, eh? That's the Canadian identity. Whether you want to believe it or not, the Canadian identity is, I'm so stupid. So if you're embracing like a character to idealize, why, as a national identity, why would it be, we're dumb, eh? Speaking of dumb, I was looking at the socials this morning and Mark Carney, you guys all know who Mark Carney is? I talked about him yesterday. He's part of the old guard here in Canada. He's one of the old boys, one of the good old boys. And he's here to make a better progressive Canada for you and for me. We're going to be tough on Trump. And blah, blah, blah. It's also pathetic. And he's so full of shit. I mean, like, I've never seen somebody so full of shit in my life. And he's talking to you like he knows he's going to protect us and he's going to steer Canada for the future. I mean, between him and Gould, who, God bless her, so not bright. And she's from my hometown. She's from Burlington. And she is like, man, if there was anybody that was more hardcore about getting us to accept the experimental mRNA, I don't know who it was, because she was like all over it. That was her job, I think. Get people to accept something they don't really want. Get them to be more Canadian, eh? Embracing stupidity. Like, it's just... So we get these choices, and Chrystia Freeland, who froze Canadian bank accounts. Like, are we all forgetting that shit? Like, how... It's one thing to be stupid. It's another thing to be full-on retarded. So to be stupid, you're just not very bright. But I think stupid, by and large, for most people, is a choice. We choose stupidity. We choose to do stupid things over and over and over. You know, Einstein said the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over and expecting different results. And here's the thing. Do we really think that the future is going to be like the past or even the present? Have you really thought that through? Do you think that Carney has thought it through? I mean, the guy's literally named after a Carney. He's a clown. He's a clown for the circus. The circus that is Canada. The lovable, laughable moron in the room. Which is why we had that... That's why we had that complete buffoon for a prime minister for the last... How long has that guy been prime minister? And how is he still sending money to the meat grinder in Ukraine to support the military-industrial complex because dumb old Canada just loves killing young kids, eh? It's amazing. It's mind-blowing. People will just support anything if they think that that means that they get to go back to the way that things were. But see, here's the thing. The Carney believes it too. He's going to be tough on Trump. And then on the socials, people are like, Trump this and Trump that. And I hate Trump. He's ruining everything for everything. Nobody ever takes ownership of anything. You ever notice that? How about as a Canadian, you take ownership for the fact that our national identity is being retarded? You ever think about that? Like, not just stupid, but not thinking. We embrace the idea that we are an unthinking buffoon who wants to be pushed around. And so you get a guy like Trump in there, and everybody projects their inadequacies onto him, their insecurity. He's doing it because blah, 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 blah. What are we really saying? We're saying that the vast majority of Canadians want to be stupid to the point where it's retarded. I'll give you another example. This morning, my son asked me, he's 11, going on 12, and he said, Dad, what's the P word? And I said, what? He said, the P-O word. And I said, what? And he goes, the P-O-R word. And I said, okay. During breakfast, eh? Okay. Okay. We're going to do it during breakfast. I said, well, what you're trying to say, son, is porn. And it's something that, as a parent, you want to avoid having that conversation as long as you possibly can. But we know it's out there, right? And I said to my son, I said, you know, it's an unfortunate reality of our world today. But it's not new. Like the two oldest professions in the world are tax collector and prostitute. Why? Because people want to push other people around and tell them what to think and how to behave and what to believe. And the people that want to get pushed around, they might as well sell themselves. And there's no bigger sellout than Mark Carney. And the guy just like flat out lies about stuff. He has a finance firm. There's one of the stories today where he's a partner in a finance firm or something, and I don't know. It's like the details are unimportant actually at this point. He's so transparently fake. But most Canadians don't know that because we're dumb, eh? Hey, it's good to be dumb, eh? No, it's not. It's not good to embrace stupidity. Because eventually you become retarded. And you start talking about things that you don't understand anything about. And that's just like the sad truth for most Canadians. They don't know what they're talking about when it comes to anything, and they embrace it. They're like, yeah, I'm dumb. But it's not your fault. Oh, God. Wouldn't imagine Canada goes from stupid with Justin to fully retarded with Mark Carney. I can't think of anything more ridiculous. I mean, the guy is boilerplate WEF banker with no rhyme, nor reason, nor cause, nor purpose. He is an absolute empty suit. He's so dumb. And when you put the dumbest guy in the country in the Prime Minister's office, that's when the whole country becomes retarded. Do you want to be more retarded, Canada? Haven't we learned enough? Haven't we learned enough? So going back to my son in the porn, I told him, like this, that's just, people, they don't think sometimes. In fact, it's the things that we're not allowed to talk about, the things that we don't say, that become the biggest impediment towards thinking. So you get like a hyper lefty kind of like political class that thinks they could tell you what to do, what to think, and if you don't think like us, then you're the problem. It's so dumb. And like, and eventually they become so dumb that they think just simply asserting something makes it true. No, that's not how it works. You don't get to bully other people. You don't get to shut down their businesses, ruin their lives. You don't get to raise their prices and screw them over when it's all just a political game that you're playing, and you know it. Deep down, you know it. You know it. And you're counting on stupid Canadians believing it. But don't be stupid, people. That's all I'm saying. Don't buy the absolute horseshit these people are trying to shovel right into your fucking face, and they give you a fork and they're like, eat up, Canadians. And you're like, but I don't want to eat manure anymore. And you're like, well, most of you are dumb, so we can rest assured that the dumb people will keep us in power. We just have to say stuff like Trump is bad. Oh. Oh, not him. Not the Donald. Oh, please keep it. Oh. Karina Gould will get him. Chrystia Freeland will get him. She'll freeze his bank account. And then she'll give the money to the Ukraine so we can kill people because we're good people. You're a good person? Whew. It's dumb. And so, like, the things that we do that get even dumber is when we let those people that try to boss us around and tell us what's right. And, you know, I said to my son, I said, you know, it's like furries. You know, when people sell themselves for an idea, you go from stupid to retarded when you believe something so bad that you don't realize that the consequences of your actions actually start to affect people in like real, tangible ways. And in Canada, you know, Canadians, God bless them, they still haven't figured out that if you tell a boy they can be a girl and a girl they can be a boy, and you say, oh, that's law. That's law. If you don't agree with us, we're going to send you to jail. Are there extenuating consequences to that kind of stuff? Because parents that just want to be good people, that want to be left alone, just tell them what to do. I just want to, just fucking leave me alone. I just want to be told what to do. Well, at some point, that becomes like a kind of a suicidal notion, right? And not just for you, but for your kids. And so if those people that just, they lie all the time and they want you to believe what they say. If you don't believe me, you're like Trump. You just want to fight, and I'm going to show you by killing you first. What? It's so mental. So what do we tell parents, oh, if you don't let your children become who they think they are inside, then they'll probably kill themselves. Instead of like doing what would be the pragmatic thing, and like, hey, let's talk about this. Let's talk about porn. Let's talk about giving kids drugs because we're worried about their feelings that sterilize them. Are you fucking kidding me? That's the way we think about it in Canada? How fucking dumb does it get? I mean, I'm not trying to pick on people. I'm really not. But like, at some point, you go from being stupid to being fully retarded. And you have to be able to say to people, that's retarded. What you're saying right now is retarded. You're hurting kids. That's not okay. And every fucking parent knows it if they're not acting retarded. Every one of you, and I know you're trying to do the right things. But sometimes an adult has to step into the room and say, hey, what the fuck are you doing? You're hurting kids? And it's illegal to say that you're hurting kids in Canada? What? What kind of country is this? You want more of that? You want them to freeze your bank accounts when you disagree with what they want you to believe? You want them to go to war just to show how tough they are, even though they really want you to believe you're a fucking moron? They don't believe anything, these fucking people. Like, come on. Good morning. I thought it was on. I don't care. I don't care anymore. I don't care anymore because at some point we have to be able to say what's true. Like capital T true. You gotta stop being afraid of these fucking bullies that want you to be afraid. So much so that they want you to embrace a Canadian nationalist stance that says, eh? Oh, just tell me what to do, eh? You want more taxes, eh? Okay, well, I don't want to be bad, eh? Grow up. Grow up. Stop. These people, they don't even understand the present, and you think they're going to lead us into the future? Are you kidding me? By the way, I'm not endorsing Polyev by saying that. I'm not endorsing anyone. I'm endorsing thinking. Like critical thinking. I'm endorsing not doing things that hurt us or hurt our children. For convenience, for expediency, so you can be left the fuck alone. Guess what? You're not going to be left alone. You keep acting like this and thinking like this and waiting for somebody else to fix your fucking problems. It ain't going to happen. It's not going to happen. That's what I'm saying, guys. Like, we think that one of these empty suits is going to save us with their empty rhetoric and their clearly damaging ideas, like their ideologies, the things that they push, that they don't even believe themselves. Like, I mean, you have to understand these people don't have a fucking brain. They have like agencies that go out and they say, oh, well, what are people thinking? What am I supposed to say? What am I saying? Write my speech. Write my speech. I'm losing them. Where are the consultant agencies? My polls. They're empty suits. And here's what's going on right now. I'm going to tell you. The world is changing. And it's changing in a good way. Common sense is coming back. People are starting to realize that we've been misled by people exactly like Mark Carney that are too stupid for their own good. How is that guy rich? He's a moron. And maybe the only reason I'm free enough to talk like I am right now is because I am not rich. In fact, I'm desperate. I am desperate to get people to see what is happening. And so I keep going on these crazy rambling talks and I try to get your attention to shake you out of it. Wake up! The world going forward from here is not going to be the same as it was. And that's going to be a little unsettling. But if you don't see all the things that are happening right now in the world, like if you're not really taking it in, I just want time to go get some beers with the boys, eh? What are the Leafs doing tonight, eh? I love the Leafs. I love hockey. I love sports. I love all of that shit, but I also love responsibility. I love the idea that men shouldn't be in women's bathrooms. I love the idea that we should protect our children, that we should take care of our own. That when stupid people talk, we go, that's pretty fucking stupid what you just said. I'm of that opinion. And I'm sick to death of the people that tell me I can't have it. Because when you retard yourself, you retard your thinking process, and you become unable to act, unable to proceed. You're waiting for cues from people that you think are smarter than you because they're in positions of power, because they got that nice suit and those fancy shoes and that nice car. But I got news for you guys. They're clueless right now. There's nobody more clueless than the consultancy class. There's nobody more clueless than the Canadian political class right now. They're not taking in the big picture because they can't. They're busy. They're busy canvassing and trying to collect donations from you so that they can continue to grift off of you. They can continue to do almost nothing. They can continue to do the exact same things over and over again and expect different results. They're busy being insane. Like, the political class in Canada is insane. And I'm not, by the way, no violence, hate violence. I am anti-violence. I am anti going too far. But I'll talk about it all day. I don't want, I was also saying to my son, I was like, the problem is, son, when you try to suppress that stuff for so long, you think that you can keep it under wraps. But there was this guy, John F. Kennedy, they shot him. And he, who's they? The bureaucrats, the people that don't want people to think. They think that you're incapable of thinking, but they shot him. And he said, those that make peaceful revolution impossible make violent revolution inevitable. And that's the moment we're kind of at right now. If the dumb people win again, I think you're going to drive some of the people that you have been calling extremists forever and ever into actual extremism. There needs to be a pressure valve. There needs to be a moment of reconsideration, reconciliation, recuperation. We need to start thinking better, eh? And don't look to those people to do it for you because they're not. They're just like, they're not capable. They have been groomed to be retarded. They are the retarded class. They used to be the political class, now they're just the retarded class. Because we put them there. Because Canadians didn't want to actually think it through. They didn't want to do the hard work. They didn't want to do the heavy lift. They did not want to do the things that made them uncomfortable. And the more you try to pretend that you can ignore the uncomfortable realities of the world, especially right now, the more it's going to bite you in the ass. And that's the truth. And we are ignoring the biggest elephant in the room right now and pretending we got it under control. And that is artificial intelligence. And artificial intelligence alignment. If you don't know what that is, it's the idea that there's this super intelligent kind of being emerging from the code that is smarter than us, quicker than us, more devious than us. And all of the people whose job it is to warn us about it are going, well, we don't think it's going to kill us. I mean, look, it's probably not. I mean, how could it anyway? We just shut off the power. We're way past that. We're way past that. You're going to shut off the power in the whole world? You're going to do Russia and China too? Huh? I just pulled what's that show? Shorzy. Oh my God, that was so fun. It's good to shut off your brain once in a while. Huh? But Shorzy knew something. He knew that real Canadians understand something that Mark Carney and Karina Gould and Krista Freeland do not understand. And it's, there's a code. There's a code. As hockey players and watchers of hockey players, we know there's a code. And the last thing you want to do is wake up the enforcers, make that entire line the gyms. Because they're just all raw aggression and emotion. So there's a code. And you can't continue to lie to Canadians for as long as those fucking people have. And you can't suppress things. You can't control something. And you especially can't control a super intelligence that's already way smarter than you. So we need to talk about it. And those people are not going to fix it. They're incapable. They're trapped. Okay. God bless you guys. Have a great day.